Might help if I added myself to the stage. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Friday, February 28th. My cat already says hello. She's on my computer already. It is great to see you guys. Candace, P. Cooper, Amanda, Disney Nerd. It's wonderful to see you guys. It's been a couple months, I think, since I've been live. Uh, things have been uh, busy. Things have been busy. Life is not going as expected, but such is life, right? It is what it is. Uh, I am very sad that Ricky passed away and he will not be joining us. I really enjoyed seeing Ricky in the chat rooms and he was always so sweet. So I'm definitely very sad that he's gone. But I am glad to be back. Glad that I was able to wake up early enough to join you guys. And my cat, no, 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 that is not for you. My cat is being a cat. Ma'am, ma'am. Okay, I'm just gonna let her knock over whatever it is. I don't know what she thinks is over in that box, but it's my insurance cards, dude. I promise that's nothing exciting. Anyway, of course, there's so much stuff to share. Uh, there's always a ton of stuff going on. Crime never stops, of course. Tomorrow, I'm also going to be doing a little bit of a different stream. Uh, Tomorrow, I'll be streaming at 12 p.m. Central. I will be discussing specifically what's going on in Harris County and Travis County. Uh, Austin and Houston are kind of battling each other out on which one is the worst county, which county has the worst, uh, the soft on crime and cares about victims less. There's a competition between the two counties at this time, it seems. So, my friend Michelle and I are going to do a stream tomorrow to discuss what's going on between the two counties. All right, and my cat just knocked over some stuff. Thank you. There goes my coaster. Appreciate you, kitten. Yeah, definitely very hard to find out about Ricky. Sorry if that was loud. Need my water in the morning. Yeah, very, very sad about Ricky. Let's see. So I tried not to save too many videos because I'm really trying to be done by 7. Even though I am already ready to go to work, I rather than wait till 7 to get ready, I am ready now for the most part. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick update on a couple cases that have been in the news a lot. We're going to talk about Luigi Mangione and some other headline grabbing cases. God, my cat is being a friggin' menace, but it wouldn't be a morning stream if my cat was not being a menace. Ma'am, no, I'm wearing black. She's trying to climb up my leg. Hey, Tash, good morning. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the first video with Luigi Mangione and his court appearance. And my cat is just pulling stuff down. So if anything falls or if I jump off screen, it was because of my cat. So just FYI, up there she goes. She's trying to climb up my leg again. Ma'am, you have claws. That hurts. All right, let me share the screen before she starts with this. Oh, okay. Yeah, she's climbing. Oh, God. Ow. Ow, ow, ow.
The accused killer of the United Healthcare CEO made another court appearance. And there's also an update in the case of the Menendez brothers. And of course, True Crime News has all the details. We're talking with host Anna Garcia this morning to learn more about each of those stories. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good here in Chicago. So let's start off with Luigi Mangioni's court appearance on Friday. What was that hearing for and how did it go?
It was a routine status update, and it was an update on how much evidence has been handed over to the defense. But really what it was, insight into this Luigi Mangione madness. The outside of the courthouse was packed with people with signs, Free Luigi, and many of them wearing green. They were matching the green sweater that Luigi Mangione was wearing that day. He was shackled by hands and by his feet, and his attorneys asked that the shackles be released. The judge said no. His attorney has argued that she has not received all the evidence that she's waiting for, specifically that the alleged manuscript, the alleged manifesto. It's really showing the amount of attention that this case is getting, even for something as simple as, an administrative hearing, if you will. He's not due back in court for another hearing until June 26th. He's got state and federal charges that he's facing, so multiple venues that his attorneys are working with.
When could a trial in this case begin and where? The state or federal charges?
That's just it. We really are not clear on that, because we still don't even know if authorities are going to ask for the death penalty here. So we are really early on in this case.
Okay. There's also an update with the Menendez brothers. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so, we have a new DA in Los Angeles County, Nathan Hochman. So finally, we heard from him and his opinion about one of the multiple hearings that are coming up. So he filed papers, and he basically has said that he does not believe the Menendez brothers deserve a new trial. This is all part of the habeas corpus filing from 2023. Basically, this is where their attorneys have said there's this new letter that was written by Eric months before to his cousin, Andy Cano. Well, the DA says, I'm not sure that letter has ever been verified. He's not sure as to the date. So he doesn't think, he's challenging the validity of that letter. And then also the new evidence what the defense said was that there was a member of the boy band Menudo who had come forward to say that he had been abused by Bob Menendez. So, we are now waiting to see what's going to happen. It'll be up to a judge to decide. So the DA says they don't deserve a new trial. It'll be up to a judge to decide. And this is separate from the reduced sentencing hearing that we're waiting on.
Okay.
So, could be some more information there. We don't know how he stands on that one.
I see. You do such a good job of breaking these complex cases down. Thanks so much, Anna Garcia. And you can watch the latest episode of True Crime News right here on Fox 32 Chicago.
My cat is very excited for us to be back, apparently. Because, she's being very lively this morning. Stop it. So, some updates with Luigi Mangione and the Menendez brothers. I honestly expected the new DA to be complete opposite of the old DA, for the old DA not to move forward with anything while he was still in office. My cat's going to end up unplugging something. She is like, no, don't play with that. That's plugged into the computer, dude. Yeah, and I don't know if you guys saw the videos of all the women that were waiting outside the courtroom for Luigi, which is crazy to me, because you're not even in the courtroom. You're just sitting outside. You might catch a glimpse of him walking by. I'm too lazy to do all that. All right, so moving on to another situation that has gripped the headlines for a while and a lot of arguments.
Adnan Syed in court today, his freedom tenuous. In the latest twist, Ivan Bates, the new Baltimore City state's attorney, declaring that after an exhaustive review, his office has withdrawn its motion to vacate Syed's conviction for the murder of his high school girlfriend, Hae Min Lee, in 1999. That means Syed's conviction will stand. I spoke with Bates exclusively.
We took every single piece and took it apart, put it back together. And we're very confident in the jury's decision back in 2000.
After 23 years in prison, Syed's conviction was vacated by a judge, and he was freed in 2022, only to have his conviction reinstated months later. Syed, allowed, however, to remain free. He has always maintained his innocence.
I had absolutely nothing to do with the murder of Hae.
National interest in the case exploded, in part because of the podcast Serial.
Was he so hurt that he decided to kill her?
18-year-old Hae Min Lee disappeared on January 13th.
And an HBO documentary series. Syed's lawyers argue prosecutors failed to turn over evidence favorable to Syed that could have affected the trial's outcome, a so-called Brady violation.
We looked at not just the Brady violation, but we looked at all the evidence.
Would you bring this case today based on the evidence you have today?
Based on the evidence that we have today, yes, we would.
Well, this seems like a little bit of a turnabout in your opinion. I think back in 2018, you were holding that this case didn't meet the standards for prosecution, meaning that if you wanted to try to go to trial at that point, there wasn't enough.
Yes. Well, it is and it is in the sense that, back then we had certain information. We had part of the information there.
But Bates's office in court today supporting another potential path for Syed's permanent freedom, a sentence reduction allowed under Maryland law called the JRA for certain juvenile offenders.
We believe that Mr. Syed has been a model prisoner while he's been in the institution, that he's truly rehabilitated himself.
So you would fully support his freedom based on the JRA now?
1,000% we do. And I've come out and said that.
Not on a Brady violation, though.
Not on the Brady violation. We're not going to vacate the conviction. Vacating the conviction says it did not that he is not the individual that was committed this crime.
Today's hearing including testimony from the victim's family who opposed Syed's request for relief, making this plea to Judge Jennifer Schiffer.
It's my sister who is the true victim here. And I hope that she will make the right decision of denying the reduction of sentence.
Syed told the judge today that he doesn't want to cause more pain to Hae Min Lee's family and vowed to build a meaningful life. The judge said she'll rule soon on whether to reduce his sentence. Thanks for watching. Stay.
I guess we will see. Yeah, and I mean, they obviously believe that the prosecutor believes that he did it because he just said he should get time served, not have it removed because of a Brady violation. God, I don't know why the cat is so interested in me this morning. Yeah, it's hard for me with situations like that because, of course, I'm going to be on the victim's side, the victim's family side. Hold on, I need to show you guys what this cat is doing. Ma'am. Oh, she didn't want me to show you that she was grabbing me. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. So Ruby Franks, who's in prison for child abuse, is still contacting her husband, and her husband had to come out and say, please stop contacting me.
The Frankie family is speaking out. A year after blogger Ruby Frankie was sentenced up to 30 years in federal prison for child abuse, her estranged husband Kevin Frankie is sharing insight into where they stand now. In an interview published on February 25th with People, Kevin, who married Ruby in 2000, explains why he asked his estranged wife to stop communication with him.
I requested the Department of Corrections to ask her to stop writing me. I didn't want to hear anymore. I didn't like what she was saying. And I'm not going to share that, that's between her and me, but it just didn't feel right.
Although he wouldn't disclose the exact contents of Ruby's letters, Kevin shares why he couldn't continue correspondence with her.
I didn't feel good, and I'm very angry. I'm still very angry, and I need space and I need time.
Kevin and Ruby are currently in mid-divorce, with the father of 6 explaining that the couple are close to reaching a settlement. And while he admits he still has love for his wife, he cannot excuse how she hurt their children and him.
I'm not ashamed to say that, after being married over 20 years to that woman, I truly did and still do love her. But that doesn't excuse what she did, and it doesn't excuse how she hurt our children and how she hurt me. And there's some things that there's some bridges that you just can't cross and then cross back. She burned the bridges.
In the years since Ruby's sentencing, Kevin is not the only one close to Ruby speaking out. Her eldest daughter, 21-year-old Sherry Frankie, recently published a memoir, The House of My Mother, and detailed her upbringing in an abusive household, particularly in the aftermath of Jody, Ruby's business partner, moving in. Following her February 2024 sentencing, Ruby expressed remorse for her actions, claiming her behavior stemmed from a, quote, dark delusion, but her loved ones are understandably hesitant to forgive her. I don't think she'll ever fully comprehend or understand what she's done, Sherry told People on January 2nd. I just hope she can get the help that she needs.
I'm curious what she wrote in those letters to him and why she keeps writing him. The cat is still sitting on my computer, but at least she's not messing with anything. Oh, I spoke too soon. She jumped off now. I'm scared. No, don't mess with that. I spoke too soon. She's going to knock stuff off the wall behind me. So in the news, there's been some other cases that are happening right now. There's a landlord that was charged with attacking a tenant, with attacking tenants. The landlord made racist comments. It's been charged as a hate crime. So this trial is going on right now.
Prosecution and defense of
You see, this is, where is this at? Plainville. I don't know where Plainville is. So he stabbed his tenants after making several alarming statements about Palestine Americans. I'm pretty sure this is where the landlord ended up killing a small child.
Their cases in a murder trial of a man accused of stabbing to death a young boy and injuring his mother.
WGN's Jewel Hillary is in Joliet with details.
During hours of testimony today, jurors saw video of defendant Joseph Chuba make alarming statements about Wadia Alfayume and his mother. They also saw evidence which included several knives and what appeared to be a child-sized T-shirt stained in blood. In day 3 of testimony for the murder and hate crime trial for Joseph Chuba, the 73-year-old defendant sat motionless during the majority of his time in court. While the jury has not heard directly from Chuba, they did see video of him shortly after the crimes while he was in a squad car. In the video, Chuba makes several comments, including, "I can't believe all these protests, people supporting the PLO. It's so evil. It's like Nazis." He also says, "I was afraid for my life. I was afraid for my wife. She would not leave. They are just like infested rats." He also says, "I begged her to get out for 3 days. She would not." Joseph Chuba faces charges of first-degree murder, attempted murder, aggravated battery, and hate crimes. He is accused of stabbing 6-year-old kindergartner Wadia Alfayume 26 times, killing him. Chuba is also accused of stabbing the boy's mother, 33-year-old Hanan Shaheen. On Tuesday, Shaheen testified that she hid in the bathroom and called 911 after Chuba stabbed her in the back of the head and neck. The mom and son were renting rooms in Chuba's house. Authorities say he targeted them because of their Islamic faith. On Thursday, prosecutors called several witnesses to the stand, including a crime scene investigator with the Will County Sheriff's Department and forensic scientists from the Northeastern Illinois Regional Crime Laboratory. One of the scientists told jurors that based on her analysis, a knife handle and blade from the scene very likely include DNA from Alfayume, Shaheen, and Chuba. Another DNA analyst was presented with several pieces of clothing, including a child-sized t-shirt she had examined. She showed the jury a sleeve on the shirt covered in blood. While being cross-examined, she told the defense she could not tell the jury what time the blood stain got on the shirt. This trial is expected to continue at 9:45 on Friday morning. Chuba has pleaded not guilty. Reporting from the Will County Courthouse, I'm Jewel Hillary,
How the hell can you stab a kindergartner 26 times? I don't understand. No matter like how angry you are or how racist you are, I don't understand. It's a small child. And if you didn't like Islamic people, why the hell did you rent to them? But I'm pretty sure this guy is going to be found guilty. I guess we'll find out. The trial goes on today, and Cat is still, knocking stuff over. So there has been a Chicago man that is accused of killing 6 people randomly in 2020. So this news is just coming out. So he's responsible for 6 separate murders. They're calling them serial murders, but I don't know that he's a serial killer. But I guess we'll find out.
21-year-old man already in custody for murder and other charges is now accused in 5 additional murders. Chicago police say all of those happened in the same year. The suspect at the time, just a teenager.
WJN's Courtney Spinelli is live at Public Safety Headquarters with new details here. Courtney?
Well, Micah and Ray, for close to 5 years, the families of 4 victims killed and countless others impacted have been waiting for justice. They're now learning it's believed the same person is responsible for gunning down their loved ones, all at random.
It's like reliving everything all over again from day one.
The unimaginable call no mother ever expects is the one Noemi Cosio received back in 2020. Nearly 5 years later, her family is among 4 others, now learning an alleged serial gunman is believed to have pulled the trigger.
There is no reason, absolutely none, why my son is not here with us today. And why the rest of the victims are not with their mothers, with their families, with their loved ones.
Antonio Reyes, now 21, was just 16 and 17 at the time he allegedly killed 6 people, including Noemi's 21-year-old son, Claudio Cosio. Investigators say the murder spree happened over a 9-month period from March 2020 to November 2020. Reyes has been in custody since the end of that year, but until now was only charged in 1 of the 6 killings. He faces 5 new murder charges and 4 attempted murder charges related to surviving victims at those same scenes.
It's difficult to comprehend how anyone could easily take someone's life, and especially so many in 1 year.
He should have been here.
Cosio was a father, a UPS worker, and a man whose family says had no enemies. He was gunned down as he waited in his car to pick up a friend to play basketball in the 4100 block of South Sacramento on April 5th, 2020. His story, one of at least 6, where the victims were doing nothing but living their lives when they were violently ripped away.
Another victim's only crime was taking his family to buy a new puppy one afternoon. He was shot and severely wounded in front of his 3 children, and he succumbed to his injuries months later.
Investigators say they used ballistics to help connect a recovered .40 caliber handgun to some of the crimes. They also pieced together Reyes' alleged involvement using his social media, cooperation from witnesses, digital, and other evidence. The motive for his shooting spree, still a mystery.
None of these people had ever met Antonio Reyes before, and there's no reason to suspect Antonio Reyes had any reason to target them. But that's exactly what he did.
As the process of justice is just now beginning for families whose grief will never go away, Noemi says she's relieved to know the person allegedly responsible is off the streets.
Seeing so many mothers in pain. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And it's a wound that will never heal. I will never stop crying for my son.
Now, Reyes is no stranger to the criminal justice system. He's also accused of trying to kill his cellmate with a shank that was made from a construction nail. And he's also accused in another shooting where a victim was left seriously wounded on Thanksgiving in 2020, just shortly before his initial arrest in that first murder charge. He'll be back in court on March 18th. For now, live outside of police.
Holy crap. That kid is a menace. Himself is impacting the crime rate. Jesus. Like 16, 17 years old. Why are you just randomly killing people? What is going on with you? That's horrible. It was like, I'm just going to kill this person down the street with their children. I can't comprehend why that happens. We actually, in Houston, we've had a few things happen. We had a Uber driver that was just shot and killed too. I can't comprehend just taking someone's life over nothing. Like he wasn't even trying to rob him or anything, just shot and killed him while he was with his kids. I don't think his trial is going to go very well. I'll be shocked if he doesn't spend forever in prison, but who knows? Nowadays, nothing surprised me. So we're going to move on to Houston. We're going to talk about the Uber driver, and then a police captain was just charged with child sex crimes in Houston. Houston has not had a good year between the 250,000 cases or the reports that were suspended, not investigated, and now a police captain arrested for child porn and child sex abuse. But first, we're going to start with the rideshare shooting story.
At this hour, Houston police are on the hunt for the people who killed a rideshare driver. Now, it happened on Houston's South Side early this morning. A 27-year-old man was robbed, shot, and killed while working for Lyft. Fox 26's Jonathan Mejia tells us what he's learned.
I'm on the south side of Houston on Ward Street. This is where police say a 27-year-old Asian male was robbed, shot, and killed by 3 assailants. Now, that 27-year-old victim was a driver, a rideshare driver. We are told that he was riding because he wanted to get more money as he was trying to become a pilot. Police say this is not the first time a rideshare driver is attacked in this area.
The MO of the suspects is the same. They're running up, they're making calls out to this location, to this, not this particular street, but in this general area and vicinity, and they're running up on these Uber and Lyft drivers and carjacking them.
This happened around 1:30 in the morning. Now, it is still an ongoing investigation because the 3 assailants are on the run. Police say they were able to leave this area in the driver's vehicle and later made it to the other location. Just a couple of blocks away, we have Goforth Street. It is important to the investigation because this location is where Houston police say the assailants drove off and left the gray Hyundai in a ditch. You can see the tire marks are still here, and police need your help in finding the assailants because they say they took off from this location.
I mean, we're going to try to do our best to get these guys out of the street. Be very aware of your surroundings for the, especially these Lyft and Uber drivers. I'll be very wary of where you're going and who you're picking up.
Houston police continue to investigate this shooting. They're asking anyone with information to come forward to the homicide division or call Crime Stoppers anonymously. We have all that information on our website at fox26houston.com. For now, reporting in Southside Houston.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they've caught the person. Let me see, because this story came out 1 day ago. I don't see any updates for it. Dude, my cat is just picking up random stuff to put in her mouth. I don't know what is wrong with her. I guess she's so excited that we haven't done this in a while. So she's just so excited that she needs to cause a mental. I have this box on my desk that I have like mail and stuff in, and she has decided to just start digging on that and messing with that for some reason. Yeah, so I don't see anything where this person's been caught, but that area of Houston is not a good area. The South Side, Ward Street. No, if you're going into like Southwest Houston, that's where they put most of the new police. And it's not a secret where I am. I'm just I'm not in Houston. I will not be moving back to Houston. I am in Texas. I am not very far from Houston. I can drive there in it's not a big deal to drive to Houston. It's also not a big deal for me to drive to Austin or San Antonio. So, I'm in the middle of cities. I'm in a much safer area. Yeah. Anyway, it's not a secret. I have a P.O. box too. I just don't like making it known where I am. But anyway, I love Houston, but I probably wouldn't go back to Houston mainly because of the weather. The weather in Houston is horrible. I had natural disaster fatigue living there, and where I am now, the weather is much better. But I still very much care about what is happening in Houston and Harris County. So, yeah. Anyway, so now the next story with Houston is a Houston police captain, which it's extra discussing with people in power are doing these kinds of things because you're supposed to be a safe person. You're the person that people are supposed to go report these people to. And not only did you have child porn, you're also abusing children.
KPRC2 discovers that the now former HPD captain arrested on child sex crime charges is well aware of how those cases are handled. 59-year-old Darren Edwards, once one of the city's top cops, is now the center of the same type of crime he was once trained to investigate. I want to thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Keith Garvin. Daniela Guzman is off tonight. Edwards has been released from his duties as a captain for HPD's Auto Theft Division. He's being held in the Galveston County Jail on charges of child pornography, aggravated sexual assault, and sexual performance of a child. KPRC2 reporter Corley Peel joins us with a look at his work history.
What's disturbing about this is we've learned Darren Edwards knows exactly how these investigations work. Records show he has 60 hours worth of training for child abuse prevention and investigation, and now he's in jail after someone walked in here to the League City Police Department to let officers know he's accused of sexually assaulting a child for years. With his head down, handcuffs wrapped around his wrist, Darren Edwards makes his way into the Galveston County Jail. New court documents reveal the disturbing crimes he's now accused of. This affidavit shows Darren would send sexually explicit messages to the victim from his phone. Detectives found she was asked and sometimes bribed with money to send Darren nude pictures of herself, which she agreed to do to keep Darren from becoming upset. He told her he could ruin her life with them. Edwards is also accused of having hidden cameras that captured explicit acts. Edwards' work history paints a different picture. The 32-year veteran, well known in HPD. KPRC2 investigates found he was demoted from assistant chief to commander in 2021 following the Astroworld tragedy. During that time, KPRC2 obtained his file showing he had outstanding reviews. This one says Captain Edwards is loyal to the department and continues to set examples for the people. In 2019, KPRC2 interviewed Edwards. He saved sportscaster Mark Langston during a medical emergency at an Astros game.
According to his doctors, he doesn't have any damage. There's no damage. It's truly a miracle.
Now that he's charged with multiple child sex crimes, HPD released him from his duties. In the court documents, it indicates that there could be another minor involved. The League City Police Department tells me that they're not ruling out that there could be more victims. They are asking anyone with any information to come forward. In League City, Corley Peel, KPRC 2 News.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with this. The Houston Police Department does have a new police chief. The other police chief was asked to retire after the other scandal. So I don't know that I've seen statements from the current police chief. Doesn't mean that he hasn't. I just haven't seen them yet. So in San Antonio, a 14-year-old was robbed leaving school, which is crazy to me because what do you think a 14-year-old has on them that's worth robbing them at gunpoint? Like, I'm also not a criminal, though. Criminals do a lot of really stupid things. But I mean, if you're gonna, to me, if I'm going to commit a felony, like I would want to make it worth it, like rob somebody that has stuff and is, but anyway.
San Antonio police confirmed they're looking for an armed robber who threatened a 14-year-old boy who was leaving his school yesterday. The boy told police the robber took his jewelry and then threatened to shoot him. KENS 5 reporter Sue Kalberg has details near Poe Middle School in East San Antonio.
Both the family and the police say the attack happened right here yesterday afternoon. This is the 700 block of Aransas. It happened when kids were being picked up from Poe Middle School. This area right here is the backyard of the school. The victim told police he was waiting to be picked up, and the suspect approached him and told him to give up his chain while threatening him with a gun.
Once I saw that gun, I just gave him everything I had. Once I took off the chains, he was like, "I'm gonna need those rings too, everything you have." I was like, just gave up everything I had.
The boy told police he was afraid of getting shot, so he gave up all his jewelry and watched the suspect take off in a car. Relatives of the boy made a post on social media saying they're looking for a gray four-door sedan. This afternoon, the school reached out to parents. They say they've added extra patrols, and they're encouraging parents to talk with their kids about safety tips, like walking in groups, being vigilant, and speaking up right away if anything seems suspicious. The family is hoping that anyone who was around this area at 4 o'clock, if they saw something, they'll say something. The non-emergency number to SAPD is 210-207-SAPD. In East San Antonio.
Yeah, the chances of somebody calling the police saying, "Hey, I saw this," are pretty damn slim. How many rings did this kid have on? I mean, like, I'm guessing it was gold jewelry, but still, it can't be worth that much. It's pretty common. I would say, I don't know if it's Hispanic culture, Mexican culture, but you buy your kids jewelry. A lot of babies have little bracelets. I mean, I see it in Miami too, so it's not just Mexican culture. It's just Hispanic culture in general. You buy your kid some jewelry as they grow up. It couldn't have been much. A couple necklaces. When I was 14, I had this gold chain with a big gold dolphin on it. So maybe it was a present from his family or something. Because I was wondering, what would a 14-year-old even have that you would want to rob? Yeah, Italians do it too. So it's not uncommon. But I wouldn't think it would be worth robbing. But it's a kid. I guess you can scare a kid more. But yeah, like I said, if I'm going to commit a felony, I need it to be like extra worth it. But in this day and age, with the way the criminal system is, the repercussions wouldn't really be that bad anyway. So that's probably why these things happen, because they know they're not going to stay in prison. But anyway. All right. So I have a couple more videos. So a romance scam turned deadly. I have a UK story, Florida, back to Texas. Actually, we're going to go move this other story about Texas up. We'll keep Texas all together. Where the hell did it just go? Excuse me. I was just moving this. Thank you. Okay. So there was a riot actually. A riot in the Liberty County Jail. And that it was so bad that they had to call in help from the outside.
Just hours ago, Liberty County Sheriff's officials say more than 40 inmates were part of full-scale riot today inside the county jail. The sheriff's office says they had to use tear gas to take back control of the dormitories. Our Stephen Goen joins us now with more on this. And Stephen, walk us through what happened here.
Marcelino, the sheriff's office says this all started during a shakedown or contraband check inside 2 different dormitories. They say apparently some of these inmates got upset and started to riot. We're told corrections officers were actually outnumbered at first, so they had to call in reinforcements. Take a look. This is some video from Air 11 showing the scene outside the jail. Inside, around 9 a.m., that is when the sheriff's office says these inmates in 2 different rooms started breaking windows, trying to get out. At some point, the sheriff sent in additional deputies, and we're told one of the dormitories settled down pretty quickly. The second dormitory, however, that was a different story. The sheriff's office says the inmates in there had tied sheets together to the door to block the entrance, but deputies were eventually able to get inside and deploy tear gas.
We let them set in the chemical agents for a little bit. After probably 30 minutes, we were able to get them to calm down enough to go inside and then execute and take back over the facility. Listen, if you get locked up in Liberty County and this DA's office gives you a significant amount of time and you're going to be sent to TDCJ, you're not going to come in this facility and run it. If you think that you're going to get out, you're wrong. If you think you're going to cause problems, it's not going to be squashed, you're wrong.
Now, there were no county employees or sheriff's deputies hurt in all of this, but we know that 1 inmate was taken to the hospital to be checked for injuries. We're told the inmates who instigated this riot will face additional charges. Today, the Liberty County Sheriff also said he may have to move some of these inmates to another facility in a nearby county if they can find space. Reka.
Stephen, thank you. Now to a Las Vegas woman charged.
Don't yell in my ear. Oh, I was not ready for that. This cat, hold on. I needed to think about what he said at the end of that story.
Just hours ago, Liberty County Sheriff.
Another facility in a nearby county.
Yeah. So them talking about moving them to another county, all the jails are full. I don't know where you think you're going to find room. Harris County's full. Montgomery County is full. Where the hell do you think you're going to send these? All the jails are full. Harris County was sending inmates to Louisiana. So that's not going to happen. All right. So the next story is a love scam turned deadly. And it seems that the audio is a little higher on this one. So just fair warning.
Now to a Las Vegas woman charged with what's being called a deadly romance scam. Aurora Phelps is now being held in Mexico. Investigators allege that she targeted older men she met through online dating. The FBI is now urging possible victims to come forward. Here's ABC's Zareen Shah.
Tonight, the FBI urgently trying to identify additional victims they believe this Las Vegas woman may have targeted in a series of romantic scams.
This is a romance scam on steroids. We have not seen one like this in recent history.
43-year-old Aurora Phelps now in custody in Mexico. U.S. authorities accusing her of luring older men she met through online dating services, drugging them, and stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from them.
Once she incapacitated her victims, Phelps stole their cars, accessed their bank and brokerage accounts to withdraw cash, used their credit cards to make a variety of purchases.
The 21-count indictment alleging Phelps sold one victim's Apple stock worth approximately $3.3 million and unsuccessfully attempted to remove the $3.3 million from his E-Trade account.
We believe Phelps kidnapped one of these victims by heavily sedating him and pushing him across the U.S.-Mexico border in a wheelchair due to his inebriated state. Phelps then took him to a hotel room in Mexico City where the victim was found dead a few hours later.
The FBI says 2 other victims were found dead shortly after their alleged encounters with her. Phelps faces charges including bank fraud, identity theft, and kidnapping charges related to death. If convicted, she could face life in prison.
Yeah, I'd be Well, I mean, he's dead, but I'd be mad if somebody sold my Apple stock. That's one stock that you want to hold on to because it goes up. It might go down for a little bit, but it goes up and then it'll split. And yeah, I wish I still had my Apple stock from when I worked at Apple. But like, you didn't have a very good plan if you thought that you'd be able to just remove it from this guy's account. E-Trade has some pretty good security. I used to have an E-Trade account. So we'll see what happens with this trial. 3 people dead for what? There's so many scams now. You can't trust anything at all. The latest scam is those toll text scams. I don't know if y'all are getting toll text scams. I got a toll text from saying that I had tolls in California. And I'm like, if you guys are going to try to scam me, at least try a Florida scam because I have a Florida number. And then they tried a Florida one later on. But I haven't been in Florida in a decade, so not going to fall for that either. So I have 2 more crime stories and then an animal story. So a Florida driver accused of killing a peace walker is now about to stand trial. The plea deal was rejected in that, and this is coming out of the Tampa Bay area.
First at 5, it was a surprise moment in a Manatee County courtroom as this woman, Teresa Zeppi, was put in handcuffs. It was a shocking turn of events for Zeppi, who just last week was prepared to take a plea deal in the hit-and-run death of a Bradenton man known as the Peace Walker. Now, Zeppi is preparing for a trial. As Fox 13's Kimberly Quizon reports, nearly 5 years after the Peace Walker's death, his family is hopeful for justice.
Nearly 5 years after Joey Dralis was killed by a hit-and-run driver, Teresa Zeppi was placed in handcuffs.
You'll now be held with no bond.
Zeppi appeared stunned, and Judge Mercurio had strong words for the state attorney's office.
I believe the state has fallen flat on their faces in presenting this case to the court and to the justice system.
Dralis was known to many around Northwest Bradenton as the Peace Walker, always out walking and holding up the peace sign. In April of 2020, the 82-year-old was hit while walking by an SUV that took off. He died less than a month later due to his injuries. After a lengthy investigation, the Florida Highway Patrol said Teresa Zeppi was behind the wheel and later stopped to wipe evidence from her bumper.
Somebody that's worked with elderly people, worked with children, has an adoption agency, for God's sakes, and she just is going to hit somebody and drive off? I don't think so. Not knowingly. No way.
Zeppi was scheduled to take a 2-year house arrest plea deal from the state attorney's office, but that offer was revoked on Friday. Her attorney, Brett McIntosh, says she is ready to go to trial.
She's 60 years old. She doesn't drive around striking men, old elderly men that are walking down the road and just driving off and then parking her car in front of her own house.
Zeppi will be held without bond. In June of 2023, she was involved in another accident while her license was suspended.
We're going to continue to have faith in the system because that's our only option.
For Joey's son, Joseph Dralis Jr., it's the first time he's felt a chance at justice.
Whatever the outcome of this, she knows you're going to have to go to sleep at night with this at some point, whether it be in a jail cell or your own bed. So there's no escape.
In Manatee County, Kimberly Quizon, Fox 13.
I'm sorry, they were going to give her a 2-year ankle monitor, like 2-year house arrest deal for hitting and killing somebody. No. And then she was driving on a suspended license a couple years after. Yeah, the entitlement is strong with this one. That's no, don't do that. Well, yeah, I don't think the judge is very happy with her. No bond. Don't see that very often in Texas anymore, right, kitten? We don't see that. So that's actually a conversation that I'm going to be having tomorrow. My friend Michelle is going to join me. I'm going to make the link later today. It's going to be at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be talking about what is going on in Texas, the perception of Texas from outside states, and what is actually happening in Texas, and what is happening between Travis County and Harris County with the district attorney's offices and some of the court and all that stuff. So we're going to have a conversation about that tomorrow. So the UK is... the UK police have new powers to be able to help stop phone theft. Apparently, it is a huge issue in the UK.
Now, an initiative in the UK to tackle a problem faced around the world, mobile phone theft. Last year, the UK saw a huge rise in the number of items, including phones, being snatched out of people's hands, often by thieves using electric bikes or mopeds to ensure a quick getaway. Now, it will be easier for police forces in England and Wales to search properties for stolen phones if geo-tracking apps such as Apple's Find My iPhone show a device's location as being within a particular address. Ellie Price has this report.
It all happens so quickly. Phones snatched in an instant, victims left shocked and handset free. Earlier this month, the Met Police launched a clampdown on what it described as industrial-scale mobile phone snatching across the capital. 230 people were arrested and more than 1,000 handsets seized. But at the moment, raids like this can only happen with a court warrant. New proposals would hand police more powers to enter and search a property without such a warrant if they suspect it contains stolen items like mobile phones, laptops or Bluetooth-tagged bikes. It means victims, who can often track their device while it's in the hands of a criminal, can call on the police to recover it quickly. The plans are part of the wider crime and policing bill being introduced today, a major piece of legislation that's been months in the making, that the government says is at the heart of what it calls its Safer Streets mission. Other measures include respect orders, court-imposed restrictions similar to the old antisocial behaviour orders, which would allow courts to impose restrictions on an individual's behaviour, as well as compel them to attend programmes such as anger management courses to change their ways. Scrapping a 2014 law that classified shoplifting of items worth under £200 as less serious than other retail theft, making them less of a priority for the police. And introducing a new offence of spiking drinks, which would be separate to current assault laws.
Too many communities are blighted by antisocial behaviour, which has increased over the last 10 years, while neighbourhood policing was heavily cut. That's why this government's plan for change means putting neighbourhood police back on the beat in our town centres and our communities.
The Conservatives have accused the government of cutting and pasting measures from the last government's announcements. And the new measures come amid continuing questions over how much cash police have to carry out the government's plans. Ellie Price, BBC News.
I couldn't go past
Now, an initiative.
I couldn't go past
Okay. Hello, CH. Charmaine, hello. So I haven't been on since the fires and stuff happened. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this guy find his dog after the fire, but his reaction and stuff, I love it. He's just so happy. Oh, and I can't forget to use this. Oh, my cat heard that through the headphones and is looking around.
I couldn't go
We
past
first met Casey
Shadowlands
Colvin amidst the chaos of evacuations.
My boss is actually calling me saying, is everything okay in the Palisades? I said, I'm in the city. I don't know.
The Pacific Palisades resident raced back, even renting a bike, trying to get home to his 2 dogs inside, but couldn't get past the roadblock.
I literally rescued them off the street. They deserve better than this.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
How do I get to my house?
A firefighter offered to go for him, knocking down his door, rescuing one of his 2 dogs. But the other, Oreo, was still missing.
Got the dog?
Yeah, this is my daughter. The behavioral dog, he ran out of the house.
Later that night, the Palisades fire reduced Casey's home to rubble, but his only concern, Oreo. For 5 days, he was missing. Then Casey got a call. Oreo spotted in the neighboring property.
It's your daddy! Hi, Mama! How's the fire? Oh, honey! Oh, honey! Oh, my God!
It's the happy ending Casey prayed for.
Oh, honey! Oh,
And there's one person he really wanted to thank.
this guy saved your life! This guy saved your life! And you look like a Ken doll! What's up, dude?
Cal Fire Battalion Chief Brent Pasqua.
If that dog could talk, he would have a story to tell. He would have a national bestseller.
Had he not knocked down that door, both dogs would have been trapped inside.
Casey, what do you want to say to Brett?
When I first met you, I was in the middle of crisis. I was in the middle of a firestorm. My dogs would have died if not for you.
Liz Kreutz, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Thanks for watching. Stay up.
I love that owner. Oh my God, I want to be his friend. I'm pretty sure that would have been my reaction too. And then him running up, you look like a Ken doll. I loved that so much. That was amazing. I've missed you guys so much, and I love starting my day with y'all. I will, like I said, I will be back tomorrow, 12 Central, 1 Eastern. Somehow the time changes still messes me up. And I am going to come back in the mornings. It's been a rough couple months. There's been a lot going on that I'm not going to get into, but I'll be back, still in the same place, still in the same house. Just life has been life. But I hope I will see you guys tomorrow. Just keep a lookout for the stream. I'll make a post on YouTube. I'll make a post on Twitter for it. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful Friday. I hope that, you're going to be able to have the day off or something and have some fun, or after today, you'll be off for the weekend and are able to enjoy your weekend. I love you guys. Have a great Friday and last day of February. See you all hopefully tomorrow. Bye, y'all.